Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. This is the Northwest Divide, where you get a local Mancunian and a Scouser in the same room. And
That's
we
right, fam.
talk all, yeah, you're damn right. And we talk all things football, and we have got a jam-packed show tonight. I am happy today, you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you why I'm happy. And yeah, man, I'm seeing Liverpool fan bases melting down. I'm seeing, you know what I mean? It's
It's
crazy
me
today.
actually thinking you was going to be sincere and give me a proper reason why you're happy. Maybe it was because you've got plenty of prosperity on the Saeed TV YouTube channel. Maybe that's why you're happy. Maybe you're healthy. I know that you're going on a fitness journey. Maybe that's why you're happy. But no, what supersedes health and what supersedes wealth? Liverpool fans' demise. Yeah, great, Saeed. No, I know how it is.
I'm still hurt by that 7-0, man. I'm still hurt by that 7-0. You know what I mean? It still
Rightly
hurts
so.
me to this day. So
It's
I've got
it's more historic than anything you've achieved in the past 10 years.
what is 7-0?
Yes.
Well, listen, that's a result. That's a freak
Give me one
result.
thing that
You know
you've
what I
done
mean?
in
It
the last.
happens.
Give me one thing that you've done in the last 10 years that's more memorable than a 7-0 win by Liverpool. Give me one. One. I asked for one and no more than one.
We won the Premier League
10 years ago.
10 years ago,
You
yeah.
never won the league in 2014.
Yeah, we did. 2013. So you should have said 5 years. So,
well,
yeah,
aren't we now approaching into 23, 24?
Well, 2023, still 2023.
And you ain't win. And you ain't gonna win the league this season. So I don't know what you mean by this.
Are you gonna win the league this season?
I never claimed I was going to win the league this season, and I also never claimed that I won.
I never claimed as well. I never claimed.
But that why? So why are you asking me then, Saeed?
But anyway, how are you anyway, though? Before anything else, before we rattle each other, how are you, though? How are you?
I'm boss. I'm boss. I'm great. I'm a little bit anxious for football restarting because now this is where we all get stuck into each other again and we all start beefing each other. Whereas I think we've all been on a level playing field throughout the window where we've kind of been a little bit cautious and just kind of happy to let things be. City are going to win everything and that's fine. Now that we're getting there, got to get the boxing gloves on, brother. So I'm looking forward to it, though. I've been sick of this window.
Yeah.
I'm transfers. I'm sick of pre-season games that mean F all. Yeah, man. It's going to be good.
No, I agree with you, though. I think for me, we've had our preseason. I've had too much preseason. We've had too many games. And I think we're ready for the Premier League. It's the new year. I feel like, I don't know, man, I'm getting older now. This is probably, I don't know, my 25th year, 26th year of watching Premier League football now. It's
You're coming a fucking Alzheimer, Saeed. Coming a fucking Alzheimer.
But every year you get excited, though. Every year you say to yourself, new feeling, new me. You know, when you say new year, new me, that's the Premier League now. And you know what? I'm excited, man. It's going to be a crazy year again.
It's completely new league as well. City have made a lot of changes where they've got rid of so many players going out of their team. You know, we've made 2 additions and we've let go of our captain, vice captain, like a lot of important players. Fabinho's gone. You know, you guys have been doing your thing. At Chelsea, they're just always chopping and changing the team overall anyway. So I think it's interesting the way that it's been playing down so far. I think to expect to be able to definitively say this team finishes here and this team finishes here, I think this is the hardest league to do that with.
Yes, 100%. And that's why, you know what I mean? We are going to give our predictions in terms of top 6. I want to hear what you're saying in that aspect of whether you think you're going to finish above us. And I don't know why I wasn't confident last week, but now I am confident. But let's talk about, by the way, there's over 500 of you already in the building within the first 6 minutes. Make sure you hit that like button, people. But we have got some news regarding Manchester United. Manchester United have agreed a 30 million fee with West Ham for Harry Maguire. Personal terms not expected to be an issue. Maguire had wanted to stay at Man United, but change of regular games, given England's status, has proved compelling. We're finally free, man. We're finally free from Harry Maguire.
I'm happy for you.
It's been a good journey. I called him at one point, I called him Harry Beckenbauer. Then I turned on him. Then it was like the fan base got too toxic. It's been an emotional roller coaster, but it's time to go amicably. Enjoy your time, and you know what? Good luck to West Ham. I've got no bad feelings. I know some of the fan base are very, very harsh on him, but listen, good luck. But where does he rank in terms of the worst signings in the Premier League? Like in terms of, you know what I mean?
By far the worst.
Moves.
By far the worst.
You think so?
Not even close. Not even close. I
Wow.
do think Naby Keita's up there, so I don't want people thinking I'm just freeing our
Fair
players.
play, you know. Fair play for admitting that. Fair play.
No, he is. He is. I think Naby Keita was terrible. But yeah, Harry Maguire for me, £80 million. Probably at the start, one of the more overrated centre backs because apparently he was good when he first joined us. I didn't see this.
He was. This is why I
never
called him
saw.
Harry Beckenbauer. He was good for the
I
first
didn't
year.
see this.
You know
I
what I
didn't
mean?
see
Let's not
this.
do this.
Yeah, I thought for me, I thought you had a better defense prior. I thought you had defenders better than him before you signed him. Funnily enough, I
Yeah.
thought the players that you had at the time, like I think it was Chris Smalling and you had like Eric Bailly and stuff like that. I thought they were significantly better
Yeah.
than Harry Maguire. So I'm surprised not only did he join for that price, but then how long he stayed. And then I'm even more surprised the fact that it's now a 30 million deal. I am so surprised there's actually
30
teams
million.
out there willing to pay 30 million pounds. So I think he's a fleeced West Ham. I know this narrative that he's great for England, and I don't agree with that narrative. I think he's very average for England. I think you could get Nat Phillips, and Nat Phillips could do a better job for England than what Harry Maguire does. But of course, there's credit in the bank, and Gareth Southgate's a shite manager who doesn't really know about football. Probably gets the job because he's got photos of the people who employ him. So listen, I'm just saying, Harry Maguire, will be a 10 million times better footballer than I will ever be. But I do think he's the worst, the biggest flop in the Premier League for sure.
Yeah. No, 100%. And Fabrizio's just come out with a comment here. West Ham now waiting for formal authorization to start discussions over personal terms with Harry Maguire. Man United want to clarify clarity over details over the deal structure, payment terms after fee agreed for 30 million. Man United option to replace him: Pavard, Todibo, and Tapsoba. I think hopefully, like I said, Harry Maguire is open because sometimes he can refuse. He can have a right to say I don't want to go. And you know, what I mean, you can agree a fee, but the player has a contract. He can fulfill his contract. You know what I mean? Unless he does something crazy where you terminate his contract, then that's fair enough. But I hope he's willing. I hope he's gonna look after his career because he still has a career. He can still play for the next 4 or 5 years as centre back. You know what I mean? If you look at it, you know, especially for the Premier League. So I think for me, it's well done, and I'm
I
taking.
reckon he'll be a championship centre back in north of 12 months.
What?
Yeah, I think he'll be a championship centre back in north of 12 months. I don't think West Ham are probably going to do well this season.
Crazy. You know
Yeah, I
what's
don't
mad?
think
You
they're going
never
to do
know.
well.
Maguire could have a bad effect on West Ham, but it ain't my
I
problem.
don't. This
It
is
ain't
what I'm
my
saying.
problem.
It ain't your problem, fam. But you know, West Ham don't think they're that good. Don't think they're that good. Just saying. Shout out to the Europa Conference League. Not that good. Finished 17th. Harry
Yeah.
Maguire.
No,
We
you know
won the
what it is though?
champion.
They're having
We won the
problems.
Champions League and
You're
finished
right
fifth.
though.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No,
It
you're
can
right. You're
happen.
right.
It can happen. And then
Yeah.
Harry Maguire adding to them. I don't think that now makes them a 17th place team to a 5th place team.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It depends.
And
Like
Harry
I said,
Maguire is the only
they-
player to have got relegated twice in a season. I'm just saying. These
yeah.
these things matter. These things matter. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, he wants to extend his career and good luck to him. But David Moyes, typical, you know what I mean? He wants that British core. He wants that. He's brought in James Ward-Prowse now. You know what I mean? He wants that kind of, you know, that element. He's kept in Antonio up front. You know what I mean? He's left go Scamacca. So he wants that English core in there. Even though I know Antonio's Jamaican, but in terms of like, you know what I mean, being English first. But it's one of them where I think for me, you know what? They're in trouble, you know, West Ham, you know, because now I don't know if you've heard about Paqueta. Have you heard about Paqueta?
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
so
what was
they're
leading
in
to the
real,
thought
real
process.
trouble.
No, Saeed, hear me out. And West Ham fans, before you start wanting to kill me and go all Tommy Shelby on me, listen, hear me out. Lucas Paqueta potentially going. Harry Maguire is now your main centre back, and then Declan Rice, Super Capitano, fucked off. So I don't
Yeah.
understand why it's not a possibility. Harry Maguire's a championship centre back in 12 months, and Paqueta, has he even been good for West Ham? Has he even had a good time
No,
there?
you know what? I like him, you know. I think he's
Oh
a
no, no,
sneaky
no.
little player.
Listen, I love a lot of players, and I know they don't have good times at teams, and Paqueta's one of them. I think he's got quality. But do you know, based on your knowledge, if he's been good for them or not? Like, has he been influential when they won the Conference League? Was he that? When they got 17th, was he influential in that aspect as well? And that's more so
You know
what I'm
what?
asking.
In the Conference League, there was he not part of the turnover in the goal where he played someone through? Is he worth 85 million as the release clause says or whatever? Or you know what I mean? Paqueta had no intention to accept 70 million. So West Ham are not saying 70 million fee. They're saying categorically no. We want at least 85 million. So in that aspect, I get it in that terminology, but you know what I mean. I don't know. Man City's a bit of a weird one. I didn't expect them to go for a player like Paqueta. You know what I mean? But is it something different in their midfield? You know what I mean? So yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Paqueta played the ball, threw it into Bowen. I had a feeling that was so. You know, he's left-footed. He's a bit silky. You know, he's got that something different. I think Rodri, Kovacic, and Phillips are too similar. They need a bit of guile in that midfield. They need a bit of something different, a little bit of flavour in that midfield. I
Paqueta would
think
be
it's
great.
very, very similar, if you know what I mean.
Paqueta would be
Even
great.
though it's probably one of the best in the league anyway, you know.
Paqueta
So
would be a fantastic addition because he's versatile. He could probably fill in that void of it because they've let go of a few attacking players. So now if you bring in Paqueta, he can maybe fill in that sort of role that Mahrez played, where he's playing on that either right wing or the right side of midfield. Maybe I'm wrong, and West Ham fans can let me know. But from my knowledge, he's left-footed, and he's got
yeah,
that type of little bit of flair about him. Nice player. Maybe that's what they're looking for. 85
yeah,
million for that is interesting, very interesting. But it's another option, and that's what Man City thrive on regardless. I don't think they mind going and spending
yeah,
100 million on a backup winger. I don't think they mind that. I think they're okay with it.
yeah,
As long as they have that real efficiency to bring off the bench, happy days, it wins your games.
yeah. Big up to Mohammed says West Ham losing Rice and Paqueta is relegation. And James, you know Pep will turn him into world class. Listen,
We talking about
not
Paqueta?
every player. Paqueta, yeah, Paqueta. Do you rate
Yeah.
Paqueta? I don't think you rate. Do you look at him and you think, you know what? Could he elevate City? Do you think he's good?
I'm a fan. Now we need to ask what elevate means. Does elevate mean getting them from a treble to something better than a treble? So I don't
I
think
know it's
I don't think
crazy.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think we
true
can
that,
we
you
can
know.
improve. However, do I think he can add to their squad to where it's still winning them trophies? 100%. Not even a doubt.
Yeah, no, I think
Got
that's
the
fair. I think
ability.
that's fair. You know what I mean? It's something different. You can give them it's, you know, I don't know. I just think ultimately, you know, Man City now are in a position now where how much more can they improve? Like for me, they've got to start maybe looking at how they fill the void of Kevin De Bruyne in the next 1 or 2 years. Kyle Walker, I know he signed a new contract. You know, how are they going to fill the void in terms of maybe certain players leaving Gundogan in that aspect? So they've got a few things to sort out, even though I think they've got a relatively youngish squad in a sense of Diaz is still 25, John Stones is still 28. You know, who else is in there? Still got a few years in their tank. You know what I mean? And they've got Gavadio now, all of a sudden. You know, it's crazy to think that. So like, yeah, in terms of that one, it's unbelievable. But in terms of Man United, going back to Man United, yeah, listen, Maguire, good riddance, and then hopefully McTominay. And then we can bring in two replacements, whether that's Amrabat or whether that's what do you call it, Todibo. I think that would be great for me, and then we can move on, and that will be probably us for the transfer window, Todibo and Amrabat. But we've got to move McTominay in first as well. But again, I
Yeah.
don't know now. Now that they've bought in James Ward-Prowse, maybe we are keeping McTominay, and that is it's a bit of a sticky one still. You know what I mean? A bit of a sticky one still.
Wait, is Fred still there?
Fred is about to leave as well. He's about to leave. He's again sorting himself out. You know when you're just kind of sorting yourself out. He's
Who's he
he's
linked
sorting
with?
himself out. He's linked with Galatasaray, but Galatasaray are not
Okay.
paying the money that we want. So that's where
Okay.
it's like it's a bit of a sticky one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, course. Nah, yeah, Fred's a mad one as well. Hey, yeah, McFred might be going, Harry Maguire might be going. Jeez, that's
Not bad, is it?
productive.
When you look at Ten Hag, though, I
That's
know we can
productive.
banter Ten Hag and Seven Hag and all that. Yeah, he got rid of Ronaldo, got rid of Maguire, got rid of De Gea. Like that is massive, you know, like from Ten Hag to kind of do that. You know, yeah, sorry,
He's been
Fulham as
given
well.
full
Fulham as well.
license. He's being
It's
given
not
full
bad though when you
license.
think about it.
He's being given full license. He's being given full resources, and he's maximising them. In my these are decisions that I'd make if I was there. If I was trying to do well for Manchester United, they're four players who I'd like to get rid of fairly quickly.
Yeah,
Ronaldo would have been
yeah.
out the door for me. De Gea just hasn't been good enough for the past 3 years. Probably the most overrated goalkeeper, in my opinion.
What?
Yes,
Oh, hold on, man.
absolutely,
Hold on a minute.
absolutely.
Hold on a
Because
minute.
it's like saying
Overrated.
yes, because he was talked about as one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time, and then I could say the same logic about Henderson because he was a good midfielder for 2 seasons, or he's one of the goodest midfielders of all time. No, you can't say this on a small
No, but,
premise and a
no,
window.
but De Gea was world class at one stage, though.
Henderson was still really bad prior to the 3-year good spell, and he was really bad after the 3-year. And De Gea was the same. So listen, and you've already seen the improvements. You're already happy because your goalkeeper knows how to pass a ball, and the fact that you had a goalkeeper who didn't know how to pass a ball is a big, big concern. Would you agree?
Oh, okay. Let's dissect what you just said then. Okay, yeah.
Let's do it.
You just said De Gea's never been world class or isn't world class or etc.
I said
in
he's
that kind of
overrated.
terms.
I said he's overrated, and I think
But
we can define world class.
No, but for me though, so okay. But I look at De Gea though between the year of I say 2014 to 2018, I regard him as one of the best keepers in the world. When you look at, he was on neck and neck with Manuel Neuer. If regard, you probably put him ahead of Manuel Neuer at that time. Whereas Jordan Henderson has never been world class. So for you to kind of compare the two and put them in the same conversation, I think that's absolutely ludicrous.
No,
Ludicrous. De Gea was world class between the years of 2014 to 2018. There was probably arguably no one better than him, bar probably Neuer.
World class at what?
What world class keeper?
World class at what though? He's a good shot stopper. Was he ever world class with distribution?
So okay, I'm gonna put that point. Is Haaland a world class dribbler? No, is he? But he's a world class striker though. You don't just define certain attributes as world class. You put them in as one. Is a world class striker. Haaland is a world class striker. So then, De Gea then is a world class keeper.
But Haaland doesn't do things at a detriment of City. Haaland improved City. I don't think De Gea ever improved United. I think he's suited.
What do you mean? He was, bro.
I think he's suited. Bro. Don't get rattled, Saeed. It's not a rattling. It's just a conversation.
No, I'm not getting rattled. I'm just finding this absolutely ludicrous. But go on.
So let's dissect the point. Let's dissect the point before anyone gets rattled. Same goes with the chat. We can have adult conversations, correct?
No, yeah, the chat will be rattled because this is crazy. But yeah, go on.
Haaland came in, improved the team. Capiche?
Sorry?
Do we agree that Haaland came in and improved the team?
Well, yeah, massively. He more than you could believe. Go on.
And then De Gea was at Manchester United at one of their worst spells with a poor defence, constantly getting shots, which suits him. A lot of which I could argue were camera saves. A lot of which were, I think, in that era where he was world class. I think the goalkeeper market was a little bit died down.
So
when I say overrated,
so disingenuous to David
when I say overrated,
you're saying if a defense is shit and therefore he's saving whatever's come in front of him, you're not giving that credit. Like that's so disingenuous. He was the reason why Man United could have been even worse at that point, where there was a result of not making top four in certain situations where manager could have been more scrutiny. He was the embodiment of that Man United team. He was in the FIFA World Pro of the Year. He's won multiple player of the year for Manchester United, 4 in a row at one point. He deserved that status of becoming a world-class keeper, and he was at that point because of the saves he was making and the positions he was keeping us at. So I think that's, for me, very, very disingenuous from me.
Do you know what I think is more disingenuous? I think it's very disingenuous of you, Saeed, to not take all my points into consideration. The fact you nitpicked it at one point and never taken in the full context of what I just said, I think that's disingenuous.
Listen, go to the point where you said about this defense. Say that point where you said about the defense and what you
thought it was. Individual point. It actually weren't even the main point. So don't even get
still a point, though. I just still have to dissect that point.
I'm not going to run away. I'll go into the point again. The point was,
okay, go on then.
There was a system that adhered to David De Gea and his playing style based on the fact there was a crap defense. 1 point. Not the main point. 1 point. Actually, that weren't even a point that correlated to anything being taken away from David De Gea. So not something that we need to dwell on. Right? Now, let me keep going just real quick and then I'll land. Okay? So that was my first point. My next point was going to be efficiency. So it was in a time where the goalkeeper market weren't even really all that. Petr Cech, he was getting a bit older. Neuer was the only real other world-class goal. Buffon was getting older. He was still good, but
Courtois was still there.
Courtois was now getting there. Courtois was still quite a young new goalkeeper.
Courtois just won the league with Chelsea.
Who I could argue, and this is what I'm going to say, and I could argue that dude was more influential for Chelsea than De Gea was for Man United, just because he made a few camera saves. And I will make my last point that you would have won more trophies with Romero in goal than David De Gea himself. The fact you have a goalkeeper,
absolutely not.
The fact you have a goalkeeper who cost you trophies, I think, says to me that he's overrated and that he's only a good shot stopper. If you had a more well-rounded goalkeeper like you do now with Onana, I think you would be more successful as a footballer.
But Oblak is not involved then. Oblak. So Oblak wasn't around then. So Ter Stegen wasn't around then.
It was a
Oblak was probably arguably up there as well.
It was a very low mark. Oblak in 2014 went up there, but Oblak ended up being a world-class goalkeeper. He went up. He went one of the best goalkeepers. He was
there, bro.
The way that he was in 2018 and all these things. Oblak was a good goalkeeper. The overall market of goalkeepers was now lower. There weren't as much competition. So you can sit there and say,
again, that argument. Hold on.
It's the same way. Okay, would you say Ramsdale is one of the best goalkeepers? Would you say Ramsdale?
Let's say about Haaland right now.
Would you say Ramsdale is one of the best goalkeepers in the world? Would you say this? And he is doing exactly what De Gea was doing. He is doing better than what Arsenal have had, and he's making good shot stopping saves.
Can I just nitpick at your statement there?
Which is great.
When you look at Haaland, let me look at Haaland.
But it's overrated, correct? Would you say Ramsdale is overrated?
I wouldn't say. Would I say
he's overrated? I think if people
I give you that. I think
if people say he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, that's overrated.
Yeah.
Just for a couple of shot stops. That's why I'm putting De Gea in that conversation.
Okay. Let me dissect this. What you just said there.
Please do.
So when you look at Erling Haaland right now, and you look at what he's doing right now, and he's scoring absolute madness goals, and you look at the striker market as a result, you look at it, you're thinking, hold on a minute, he's doing crazy numbers. Will I ever right now? Hold on a minute. Will I ever look at it right now and think, you know what? Should I discredit him just because there isn't an abundance of world-class strikers? No. Same way you shouldn't do that to David De Gea when he was doing things crazy at a level where, again, like I said to you, Ter Stegen was around, Neuer was around, Oblak was around, Courtois was around. There were so many top keepers around at that time, and De Gea still,
and a lot of them were better than David
between the period of 2014 to 2018. He was on that level, world-class level.
Yes. So you just mentioned about 4 goalkeepers who, in that time, were better than David De Gea. Another reason why it adds to me saying he's overrated.
I never said they're better than David De Gea. I said they were.
I never said you did say that. I never said you said that. I said, in my opinion, you just named 4 goalkeepers in that time period better than David De Gea was at that time. Furthermore, adding to my point that David De Gea is overrated. Right? Now, you asked me about Haaland, correct?
Yeah,
Haaland. You asked me about the fact that it's not fair if I say Haaland isn't good because of the fact that there's strikers or a lack of strikers in the current market. Have I got you right so far?
Yeah, well, there isn't. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Haaland is so far above any striker that there is right now. De Gea weren't so far above the goalkeepers you listed before. So it's a different comparison, first and foremost. Second of all, let me just land. Second of all, Haaland is an elite all-time goal scorer. Not a good goal scorer right now, an elite all-time goal scorer, where it's freaky numbers to a point where Ronaldo didn't even have these numbers at this age. Nor did Messi, by the way.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, he's still not done at the greats level.
Think about the GOATs. Haaland has got more goals than both at this age. So even though he might just be one-dimensional, and even though he might just be in a league or in a world where there's not as much striker competition, he is still so far above these. And if he was to get these similar numbers in the time of top strikers, he is still a top striker. And by the way, he's competing with someone like Mbappe, who is seeming to be generational. Would we agree?
Listen, listen.
And based on numbers, whoa, don't divert. I answered every one of your questions. Don't you dare divert away from mine. Don't you dare divert away from. Have I answered all your questions?
Can I ask you a question quickly before I do that? What was the reason that Real Madrid wanted David De Gea in 2014? Because was he one of the best keepers in the world?
Go and ask them. I don't think it would have lasted very long.
Oh my days, man! This is what I mean. You're being disingenuous again, man. You're not answering the question. You're diverting. You're saying, "Well,
then ask me the question."
I don't know why he was considered Real Madrid. I
don't know why they signed him. That's not missing the question. I am letting you know. I don't know why they wanted to sign David De Gea
because he was one of the best keepers in the world.
Instead, what?
Because he was they got Navas instead.
Okay, and I'm sure that was actually a better choice. I think Navas ended up being better than what De Gea was for Real Madrid, and I think De Gea cost United more trophies than what he would have won. That's why Romero was the cup goalkeeper at times.
I think Man United as a whole cost United trophies, not David De Gea. David De Gea was at the spearhead of why Manchester United.
But Romero still won his trophies. But Romero still won his trophies, no?
Romero was given that opportunity to be the number one in them cup competitions. That's why we won it. You know what I mean? Like Ortega now is ahead of Edison for the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup because he's the number one chosen keeper. But listen, we want to move on. I don't want to talk about this forever.
Did you hear that, chat?
Listen, we want to move on. The guy, there's 1.2K in the building. Make sure you're liking the video. Like I said, on this show, the Northwest Divide, it gets a bit heated. It gets a bit, it gets a bit sticky. But like I said to you, it is what it is. Big up to everybody who's locked in right now. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and James Redmond's channel as well. Let's talk about Liverpool. FSG.
Oh, no.
FSG out.
I was confident until now.
Hey, well, listen, this is where it gets interesting. What's going on, man? Because you know what, I see some ugly stuff on the timeline. It's getting a bit heated. Lavia, is it happening? Is it not happening? FSG, are they doing anything about it? Jamie Carragher was online trying to give some heat on FSG. What are you saying?
Yeah, it's a bit shit. It's a little bit weird at the moment. Like, fans are beefing with each other about the FSG in, FSG out stuff. Paul Machin came out the other day and said, like, it's pointless doing planes and doing things that are going to contribute to being FSG out. And I also believe he's not somebody who has a strong stance on that opinion, but I do believe he's FSG in. And yeah, it's been causing beef between content creators. Gary Neville's just came out and said that Liverpool's owners are bad, which I massively agree with. Jamie Carragher has only just said about the owners not spending enough this window. I hate the fact that we always have to get to worst case scenario with FSG to then say, okay, now you're shit. Now you're shit because it's worst case scenario. I was calling them shit after we won the Champions League final. If you asked me after the Champions League final, do I want FSG to go? The answer would have been yes, please. But I appreciate the fact they at least got a Champions League for us. And I would have said the same after the Prem. Because even though they did so many things right, the things they did wrong massively outweighed the things they did right. So that's a problem for me. And not only is it the fact that on the pitch, they're very underwhelming. They're not really good at running a football club on the pitch. But what they are really bad at is making good decisions off the pitch. The Super League for me was the final straw. And I think it's hilarious the way a lot of clubs just sit there now with the fucking owners and say, oh, yeah, it's sad. Tried to ruin the tradition of football, but it's cool because you sort us out financially. I didn't agree with this. I did not agree with this one bit. I thought it was a pathetic approach from the fans to be like, right, now you need to go. Oh, but FSG are fine. A couple of months later. I think that's pathetic. But again, fans aren't nerds like me. They don't watch football the way I consume football. They'll just watch a game for a chore, for like an odd thing. Whereas me, it's kind of like every single day I'm looking at this stuff, proper nerdy stuff. FSG for me just aren't good enough. They can't compete with other owners on a resource basis. And when Klopp leaves, I think we're going to find it hard to replace him. And I think we'll probably go back to being... I think we were Jurgen Klopp away from staying as a Europa League team for me. And I think we will go back to this when he goes because them owners will still be there. But it has to get there first before fans really notice it. So it's really bad at the moment. I think if you're a United fan, you should really enjoy this because I think there's tough times ahead for us, to be honest. Maybe not in the next 12 months. Beyond this, maybe in the next 12 months, we could get a cup and finish third. You never know. But beyond this, that won't be good. I don't think.
Do you think also though, because we used to have Sir Ferguson, he sometimes would enable I wouldn't say enable the Glazers, but he would say sometimes there's no value in the market, and it would kind of make the job easier for the Glazers in terms of not to spend their money. Do you think Klopp is becoming a problem in that aspect, in terms of he is becoming an enabler for FSG, in terms of I'm not saying to call them out, but I think sometimes he hides the fact that maybe there might not be money involved, or he thinks, you know what, we're all good, and etc. And you know what I mean? Like it's not too bad at the minute. It's Klopp an issue as well in that aspect. And Wenger did it as well. Some of the managers, when they get too fall in love with the club, they seem to kind of like, you know what, man, we're okay, man. I've got this. We'll be okay. Everything will be all right in that aspect.
Interesting question. So what exactly are you asking me? Is it bad that Jurgen Klopp doesn't come out and speak about the owners? Is that what you're asking me?
What do you mean in that aspect? Yeah. So basically, I'm asking you, I'm not saying call them out, but do you think sometimes he facilitates almost like the acceptance of, what, we're all good and it's not too bad right now at the minute?
Now, who does he do that to? That's a big question to ask. Who does he do that to? So when he's facilitating the owners and when he's not giving too much information, who is he doing that to?
Fans. The fans are losing right now.
The media, innit? The media. So
when the media, but also the fans, in terms of they want to know what's going on in the football club. They want to be there in that aspect,
Who creates the narrative for the media? Who creates the narrative for the fans?
Well, the media, of course.
That's what I'm leading to. So Klopp will give them an answer in a press conference. The media will then put it in their article. And now Jurgen Klopp hates FSG. Now a media has got a headline of Klopp hating FSG. Might have not been what he said. He might have said, I don't think we're getting enough funds. But now there's problems within the hierarchy of Liverpool Football Club, and this is really, really bad. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. Now everybody who's got not long left on their contracts, this is a problem because FSG and Klopp are now beefing. What I'm leading to, zero productivity in Jurgen Klopp coming out to the press and saying me and FSG have got problems. Not unproductive comes out of that. In fact, it causes more problems in the short term and addresses zero in the long term because FSG will stay no matter what, as you know, with your owners. So that wouldn't achieve nothing for me. So no, on that specific thing, I wouldn't blame Klopp for. No.
The thing is, though, this is where you're wrong because the media narrative.
If he comes out in the media, and says, "I need more money," what does that achieve?
It achieves a feeling that, you know what, Klopp isn't to blame and Klopp isn't hiding or substituting the blame onto himself. He's then putting it onto the FSG.
Okay, so we've achieved a feeling that, okay, then, maybe this isn't Klopp's fault. Maybe it's FSG's fault. But you could still come to that conclusion, like the way I've came to that conclusion, without him coming out to the press.
But you know what it is, though? I get what you mean, and I get the narrative is always controlled by the media, but there's always a sense of feeling of, you know what, though? Sometimes it's not what's said, it's how you say it as well. You know what I mean? And that, for me, what the Liverpool fan base want is a bit of hope that, you know what, they've got Klopp on their side. He seems to get it. He seems to understand it. And you know what? We'll get it right. I think right now, you guys are colluded together. Klopp and FSG are almost like they're intangibles together. Like, it's what, you know what? They're both together. Now it's FSG out. And then sooner or later, you'll have Klopp out in the future because it's like, you know
Klopp
what?
will go before FSG.
Wow. That's mad. That shouldn't really happen, though, you know, really, when you deep it.
Sorry?
That really shouldn't happen, though. I think FSG should go out before Klopp because Klopp has built a foundation for me that I don't think any other manager you would have probably got would have done in terms of getting the trophies that he got at that time. Let's be honest.
I agree. I think it's important. I just think nothing happens if he comes out to the media. He doesn't like the media. I wouldn't like the media. If media are just going to miswrite headlines about me every week, then I'm not going to give them no juicy stuff about me and the club, even if it is going tits up, because nothing's achieved there. Now you just know there's conflict between me and the owners. The same way if I fall out with a player, I'm not going to come out in the media and slander the player. Would you say it's good to slander the player in the media, Saeed? If you're the manager?
No, that's never good. That's never good.
It's not good. That's why it's not good to do it to the owners. It's not good because Klopp doesn't come out and say the owners are doing great. Klopp doesn't come out and say we're doing perfect. Klopp emphasizes the imperfections. He just doesn't label it in a way that FSG do this, FSG do that. Mm-hmm. He calls it a we, he calls it an us. That's the way it is. And then I am sure in the meetings there is things being discussed regarding who he wants to bring into the football club and that we need to do more. Van Dijk, as recently as today, I saw a quote, came out and said, I understand why the fans are frustrated. 2 of the captains have just gone.
Oh, right. Today.
2 top players have just gone. You know what I mean? And we've only brought in 2 players. I understand why the fans are sceptical. So the club knows the problems. And the players are speaking out on the issue. And we know what PR is. We know that Liverpool as an entity is a whole PR thing. And even the players are coming out and speaking about it. Therefore, they probably all align with this message. Because now our new club captain's coming out and speaking about it. So
it's mad that, though, when you think about it. I get it's negotiations, but Southampton have been very, very shrewd on it's 50 million or nothing. And it's like the club know they need a DM. They've let Tool go out now. Sometimes it's best to just pay the money and get on with it rather than dilly-dally around it and end up paying the money you were originally meant to pay. Like, you need a centre-back and you need a DM. And I'm not going to lie to you, if you don't get them 2 in, it's another struggle to get top 4 for Liverpool Football Club. And
that's right.
Listen, I don't want to banter Liverpool, but it is because I think your defense is weak. I think your midfield lacks balance. Up front it's a Ferrari up front. You know what I mean? Yotto and all these guys are scoring goals for fun. But that midfield for me and that defense, honestly, if Konate leaves that defense, I think it's curtains for Liverpool in terms of me them not being the same because Matip is not the same and Van Dijk isn't the same player anymore. And ultimately that is the damning situation at Liverpool. It really, really is. But I expect Lavia to get done surely by this 4th bid. But who knows, man? You still need a centre back. You know what I mean? You see Man United linked with centre backs. You should be linked with them as well. But don't know what's going on with that.
the worst owners. I mean, I think we've got one of the worst owners in the Premier League. I think just because they had a 3-4 good year spell of Michael Edwards recruiting good players, and just because they've added a little expansion on the stadium, I don't think that necessarily means they're great owners. Reason being, why are you going to add 6,000 more seats to your stadium? It's so 6,000 more fans can come and see a good product. But in the chase of getting those 6,000 additional seats, you're now neglecting the things that's been happening on the pitch. Therefore, the product is now worsened. So you haven't lowered any ticket prices. You haven't. You've added 6,000 more seats, but now the product's worse. What's good about that? I just want to ask the chat. I'm wondering if I've missed something. If there's FSG riders,
I agree.
In the chat, let me know. Maybe I've missed something. Maybe they're doing loads of things great. But as far as I'm concerned, on the pitch they've underachieved, and off the pitch they've done scandalous stuff.
Last question on Liverpool. Do you think the big channels can do better? You know, these big channels. I think I see something about Chris Majek, Redmen TV. Do you think big channels can do better? You know, these bigger channels, Liverpool. Do you think they could do better in spreading the message of FSG out?
It's interesting with Redmen TV. A lot of people seem to think they're on the payroll and stuff like that, which is why people think that Paul doesn't really come out about the owners or whatever have you. I disagree with this. I think that there's no payroll there. I do think they do things for the club, and that's why they get things like Klopp interviews, and they got to do the Jordan Henderson documentary. Do I think they need to speak out more? I think if they truly believe, I think you should speak about what you believe. If you don't believe FSG should leave, you shouldn't speak about FSG leaving. Okay? So if Paul sits there and believes FSG are good enough to run this football club and they are the best solution to take us forward, and that they've done nothing wrong, then he should come out and say that FSG should stay for this reason.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
For me, my belief is different, and that's why I come out and say FSG out. And that's why I think Jamie, what I'd like to see is some consistency now. So I've seen Jamie Carragher come out and speak against the owners. Now, can we make sure that this keeps going when we continuously see this happening? Poor transfer windows, years and years of lack of investment, just because you want to get more seats. Not good enough. Not good enough.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Big up to everybody who's still here. Nearly 1.3K in the building. Not even 500 likes. That's a disgrace, guys. You know the score. Hit the like button. The people that come on the channel know the score, man. So just hit the like button. It helps the channel grow. It helps the channel reach out to more people on YouTube that probably don't know about the Northwest Divide. And yeah, man, support the channel, people, and support James Redmond TV, man. He's live pretty much every day and giving you guys good content. We're gonna do a little bit of a game. Okay. Give me your top 6 prediction. Oh, no, you know what? Do top 5 because you know that's the Champions League spots, isn't it? So give me your top 5 predictions.
I would say City first. Arsenal second.
Yeah, that's fair.
Us third.
Dagger. Even without centre back and a midfielder.
Sorry?
That's what it is right now. That's we're basing it on right now. Do you want to base it on right now, or do you want to base it on what you?
We can base it off right now. We can base it off right now.
Cool. So third.
I'll still say third for us. I'll still say third. I'll say Man United fourth. I will say Chelsea fifth, and then there's my top 5.
Top 5. Okay. I'm going to say similar to you, to be honest with you. I'm just changing 3 and 4. Manchester City to win the league. Arsenal to come second. United to come third. Liverpool to come fourth. And I believe Chelsea will become fifth. That is my prediction for this season. I want to give you a question. Who's going to be top scorer? Is Nunez going to be top scorer for the Premier League? Because I've got this feeling that Nunez is going to fire this season. I don't know what it is, but I've got this feeling that Nunez might fire this season. He might go neck and neck with Haaland.
You might be right. You might be right. I thought that was going to happen last season, according to hundreds of Liverpool fans, and they weren't right. But you might be right. Maybe he goes and he gets 10 goals after the first 5 games, and then, you know, the momentum's there, and he's just constantly playing, and then goes and gets Haaland numbers like everyone's been saying he's going to do. Would I put my life on it? Not really. I'm not happy doing that. Would you put your life on it, Saeed?
Not my life on it, but I think there's a good chance, though, man. A good chance.
Would you put? You don't bet, so I can't even use that analogy with you. But I was going to say, would you put a certain amount of money on it? I know I'm not. So the point that I'm leading to is that yeah, bro, I'm not going to say top goal scorer. I think he can do a job. I think he can be a good addition to a collective, forceful attack. I think that's what he can do. I think Jota probably gets
Nunez won't
closer.
even start. That's crazy. Nunez won't even start.
Yeah.
You know, that's
It's a
mad.
big shame.
That's crazy.
It's a big shame. It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
Have it.
Yeah, get yours in, people. Harry Kane, Haaland, Isak, and Mo Salah. Ooh.
It's Haaland, it's Harry Kane, it's Mo Salah as the top three for me.
I'm gonna say Harry Kane. No, Haaland. Is Harry Kane gonna stay though? That's the thing, though, man. I don't know he is.
Yeah,
you know?
I think he will. I think he'll definitely.
You think he will?
Now.
Okay, then if he stays, Harry Kane, and I'm gonna go for. You know what? I'm gonna go for Rashford third.
Ooh, that's a bad shout.
Rashford to get third.
I think that's a proper seedy shout. But I appreciate the optimism. I think it's fine.
No, listen, I think he'll still be our main source of our goals. And I think ultimately that will, you know, kind of just correlate to Manchester United in that aspect. So I'm gonna go for that one.
I don't think he's got the mentality for it. I don't think
Maybe
he's got the
not.
mentality
Maybe not.
for it. I think I've always questioned Rashford's mentality massively. It's a shame because he gets a lot of thingy on him, you know what I mean? And he seems like a lovely dude, lad, like he does loads of nice things. So I'm not even trying to slander him. But it just seems when something happens, that will now affect him. You know, last season he went insane games without goals, like crazy stats. I can't remember the exact stats, so I don't want to put it out there. But it was months with like 2 goals or something like that, which I thought it was interesting. This dude was in the Ballon d'Or conversations for just being an outlet, you know, for being a slightly more skillful Darwin Nunez, if you will. And he was really good at the start of the season. But at the same time, I don't think he can do that over the course of a 38-game season. Not more than a Mohamed Salah or a Haaland. People disrespect Mohamed Salah too much as well, you know, Saeed, including me. Sometimes I forget. The legend of that dude. But yeah, people really sleep on
Salah. The problem is he doesn't for me hit like the way Hazard was in that aspect.
Because you like eye testing it. You like eye test as well.
Eye test. I'm an eye test merchant, you know.
But based on efficiency, he certainly surpassed Hazard's Premier League legacy. Can we both agree?
You know what? Because they both won the Champions League.
Yes.
They've both won the Premier League.
Yes.
I would still pick Hazard over Salah all day, though. That's a problem, though, man.
In terms of efficiency as well?
Efficiency, obviously, Salah's got more goals. Yeah, 100%. I think that's undeniable. You know what I mean? But
that's the only point I made.
Still gonna be.
That's the only point I made.
That's fair.
And I also think that's a weird comparison people make. Just to say, Salah isn't this. It's because Eden Hazard's better. Salah's still one of the greatest that the league's ever seen. When you think of Premier League legacy, he's surpassed the likes of Eden Hazard in some ways. I think he surpassed Cristiano Ronaldo as well in a Premier League legacy. Premier League, not
in the Premier
overall.
League. Maybe in the Premier League records and whatnot. Yeah, but then again, Ronaldo, that season that he had, you know what I mean? The fact that we won the Premier League 3 in a row.
I don't think he ever had a season like the way Salah did in his first. Salah's first season was, wow, monstrous, crazy, wild. Loved every minute of it. I thought he was quality. And again, without Mo Salah, we don't even get close to any of the trophies that we've won. And he always scores in big games. He scored in a Champions League final before. He scored. I mean, he is your daddy. He goes to Manchester United and Old Trafford, and he will mash work. He will mash
every day. He's our nemesis. He
does it against the biggest teams. He scores against City, he scores against Chelsea, he scores against Man United, he scores against all the big teams. So when you think of Bruno, who hides against the big 6 teams, Salah has that to his game. You know?
Yeah.
He has that to his game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I bet you'd love that from Bruno as well. That big game player.
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah is one of the biggest. Look at his stats against the top 6 teams. Then you can tell me if he's a big game player or not. Just look at his stats. Now, again, a lot of the defense of how good Salah is will be his stats. Always. But that's why if he can be the main outlet, then that's why we can give him the praise, because he's doing his job more than his job than what we expect from him. So yeah, man, like I think he gets
Yeah.
disrespected, but I think he'll be up there as well.
Nah.
To be fair.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you.
You know what else is
Next
quite
one.
intriguing before we move on? It's also funny when
Yeah.
like United fans will come with Rashford and then Salah, even at this old age, will still outscore him. And then Bukayo Saka will come in the equation and Salah goes and doubles his stats. I think it's brilliant. I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic. And Salah needs to
This
keep
shows you
sleeping
what
on these
testament to
haters.
Salah though and his mentality. His mentality is just second to none. You know what I mean? He's just always there. He's a goal scoring machine. And that one you can't knock about Salah. Nobody can talk about Salah in terms of goals.
He's
It's
the guy,
just for
bro.
me, he's just a machine, man. Every time you doubt him, he scores goals.
Yeah.
Big let's talk about breakthrough. Who's gonna have the biggest breakthrough of the season? I'm gonna go for Mudryk. What are you going for?
I think that's a good shout. I think that's a really good shout. I'm going to try and be a little bit different. I'm going to say, can I say Soberslay?
Um
Or does it have to be a
No.
player that's
Yeah, you
come
know what?
from bad?
You can. Yeah, you can. Because he's obviously new league breakthrough in terms of he's just
I
come
think
in and
he's
he's
going to
just
come
set
in.
the world alight.
I think he's going to come in and be one of the best players in this league.
Mm,
No doubt. No doubt. I think
I
when
think
you think of
he's
the best, I think when you think of the best offensive midfielders, you will think of De Bruyne and you will think of Soberslay. You won't think of Mason Mount. You'll think of those two, in my opinion.
yeah. No, that's fair. You know what? This is a good one. João Pedro from Brighton. He
Yeah.
might be a good one to have a breakthrough.
I don't think they get above Europa League again. No, I think they kind of go back down to mid-table Brighton. So they might be good signings, but I don't think
Ooh,
they improve them in any way. You know what I mean? Basuma, like Basuma, but
Basuma. Basuma. Yeah,
nah,
I think
don't
Basuma.
see that.
There's another one as well. You never know what he does. You know, this season in terms of, you know what I
Possibly.
mean, 20 years old.
Yeah.
I think that's a good shout in that aspect. I'm gonna try and look at teams below, like, you know what? Dan Juma for Everton.
Yep.
He might be a breakthrough season for him in terms of like, you know
It's
what?
tough.
He might
I'd
surprise
agree
everyone.
if you win at Everton. If you win at Everton, I'm agreeing everything with what you're saying. But Everton have had some top ballers, and because it's Everton, it won't work out. It's not a Liverpool versus Everton thing. It's just the way it is. There's a reason why they're competing for
Yeah,
relegation every year. It's quite a depressing club.
yeah. I don't know. I think for me, it's one of them though. You always have that one player that turns up. Last season it was the left winger. I forgot his name, came from Burnley. He came in towards the end of the season. You know what? Harvey
Dwight
Barnes.
McNeil.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil. He came in and showed up.
Yep.
Harvey Barnes, that could be a good shout. Jackson,
Newcastle.
maybe in that
Maybe.
aspect.
Oh no,
Oh,
actually,
Diaby.
I think Jackson's the biggest shout. I think Jackson is the biggest
Is
shout.
he?
He's a top player, bro. He's a top player. I wish we got
You
him.
like him?
Even though we don't need strikers, but I wish we got him. He's better than Nunez. Like, he's a top player, bro. He's nice on the ball. He's good with link-up play. He reads the game well. And he's also a good finisher. Don't mind if I diddly do when it comes to him, mate. Him and Nkunku, I think that's a nice partnership. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I think that's decent.
Big up AJ. Big up AJ says early prediction for a team who will fail to live up to expectations. I'm saying Mitoma. Ooh. He did flop towards the end of the season in terms of he didn't really show much towards the end of the season.
Yeah, he just
I'm
cooked
gonna
us, and then
say,
that was it.
this is I think that's just too obvious. I'm not gonna say Havertz because I think he's not done anything anyway. I meant to stay a player, yeah. So basically in the sense of who will not fail to the expectations.
Okay.
Saka, that's a bit of a wild one. Saka.
Which Saka won't
Now,
achieve what he's supposed to achieve this season. Is that what he's saying?
yeah. Yeah, in that
Oh.
aspect. Mason Mount could be a shout. You know what I mean? He
I
could
think, you know
not.
what? I think that's a great shout. I think that I don't think, but I don't think I don't think anyone besides United fans are expecting that to really do smashing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good. Mason Mount's a good shout.
Yeah,
That's a
Mason
good
Mount's a
shout.
good shout. I'm just trying to look at, you know what? I'm just trying to say Liverpool, anyone?
Wait there, who can flop
Yeah,
this season? I think you can put your stocks in Darwin Nunez.
yeah.
I
Darwin
think you
Nunez
can do
again.
that.
Tonali's a good one. Tonali, just because of the fact that people were saying that he's not wanted to be there and he doesn't want to be there and he doesn't want to kind of, you know what I mean? He doesn't like it. He wants to go back to Italy because Scamacca's coming through and he's gone back to Italy. A lot of players who come through to this league, they go straight back to the pasta and the, the ravioli. You know what I mean? They like that ravioli. So,
That's right, mate.
yeah, I
Nah,
mean,
yeah, it's an alley. That's a shout.
it's a nice one, isn't it? I'm trying to think. Trying to think. You know what? Mm. Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause. And you know what? No, you know what? That's a good one. Who, who is it? A season of must. They must perform this season. Like who needs to
Oh,
perform this
like
season?
if it doesn't work this season, then they need to go type idea.
In a sense of not go, but like they have to perform this season. Who
They
are
have to perform.
wants to have to perform this season?
I think you've got to put Sancho and Anthony in that category, don't you?
Yeah. Listen, both of them,
I
both of
think,
them. I agree. I'm
yeah,
not going to
they
disagree
both
with
need
you.
to. They both
You
need
know what
to.
I'm going to say? I'm going to
Hmm.
say Trent,
I'm gonna say Virgil.
Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, it's just like you know what? He's just if he's basically if for flops. Yeah, in
Captain.
that aspect. Yeah,
Captain. And
yeah,
if he does shit, then we're shit. Yeah. Trent for me was one of our better players in the second half of last season. And I think he always has
yeah.
a good season if he has a bad spell. Um, he definitely weren't anywhere near as bad as Van Dijk. No way. I'd say Van Dijk. I'd say Van Dijk needs to really step it up. I
Yeah,
thought he was shite last year. People say to me Van Dijk's one of the best centre backs in the world. I agree, but now I'm thinking a best version of Virgil van Dijk. I'm not thinking about this version. This version's not the same. So I need to see him go and do bits. Sterling, in
Sterling's a
terms
big
of
one.
who
You
needs
know,
to
a
think
big shout. That
yeah. I'm unsure about Sterling. Me, I don't know if he's going to come back. I think it'd be intriguing to see it happen. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to because Sterling's one of those. You know what I mean? He's kind of just hit and miss, and unless he gets the games under Pochettino, which I think Pochettino's going to take a more young approach because isn't it going to
yeah.
be Sterling or Mudryk? And then who's the other winger for Chelsea? I can't even think. It's
We have a Cuckoo, but
Maguire.
he's out for 4 months. He's out for 4 months and Cuckoo. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's out. They've got Madueke, they've got bro, I'm trying to keep up with the names, man. They've got a lot of players, man. You know what I mean? You know what? Foden's a good one, you know. I can't lie to you, Foden. Even though we always say, is it his year? But I feel like if he doesn't establish himself in that Man City team, then bro, like he needs to just call it quits, man. Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, call it quits,
Whoa,
bro.
whoa, 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 whoa! Why are people putting pressure on Foden? Let him be the
You know
little,
what it is though?
let
I
him
feel
be the
like for
little
me,
squad rotation.
he needs to just like be more respected. I think for me, like I think is he going to fulfill his
Michael
potential
Carrick was
really?
used as rotation at times. No,
No. He was a mainstay for large part of the
okay
season. He
then,
was a
but you've
mainstay.
got
He was a
surely this. Okay, sorry for Carrick because I like Carrick. That weren't even trying to be slanderous. I was thinking, did he rotate with someone? And if that's not the case, then I apologize. But yeah, other examples. There's players in your team before who was rotational, but still big to the squad. You know, and you wouldn't have
yeah. There's
wanted
this
them to
Park
go.
G songs, the Park G songs of the world.
Yeah, Park Ju, great example. He's one of my favorite. Did you know he's one of my favorite players? Man like Park Ju Sung.
Well,
He's my
I never
dude.
knew that.
Nah, he's bro. I was a big fan when I was younger. Big fan. Thought he was quality, right? That's actually a blast from the past. You've just mentioned that name. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Him is a great example. Would have you just sold Park Ju Sung because he was on the bench sometimes? No. Would have you sold
yeah,
Gundogan just because he was on the bench sometimes? No.
yeah.
No.
That's true. That's fair. That's
Foden
fair.
needs to cook from the bench. If it's on the bench, if it's right wing, left wing, fullback, and he goes and does a Zinchenko, Foden cooks. He's a nice player, man. Very technically
Yeah.
supreme to many.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I agree with that one. What we're gonna say now? Yeah, relegation. Who's getting relegated this season?
West Ham.
Oh,
West Ham.
relegation, guys. Let me
West
look at the
Ham.
league. Let me look at the league because you know what it is. Yeah, I need to just Premier League
If we're
table.
saying
Let me
from
let me
right now,
pull it up.
we don't know if West Ham are going to go and sign some juicy players, but yeah, from right now, I think they'll probably go down. I want to say Everton, but I do think they'll actually finish like 15th or something this year.
Yeah, they always do it, man. They always do it. So let's just
Luton
look at
Town.
the.
Luton
Why
Town, I
is it,
think, is a
by the
good
way?
show.
Yeah. Oh no, that's last season, isn't it?
Yeah, go up. You could have went up because I think you can change the seasons from the top of that table.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You're
No,
right.
not a
You're
problem.
right. James. James is on it.
Okay. Sheffield. Is Sheffield in the league?
Sheffield United, yeah. Let me tell you something, yeah. They've lost two of their key players.
It was like Ndai or Ndeye who went to Marseille, win it, innit? Or am I right?
Marseille, and then also they lost what's it called? What's that the Danish guy? Berg? Is it Berg?
Big,
Norwegian
exactly. Yeah,
guy?
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So This is the table here.
They have got a Champions League winner up front, and you know this side.
Aye, listen, come on, man. Allow that guy, man. You know what?
What?
People don't talk about that
Larry
kid.
Bruce the
Rise
Champions
up, man.
League winner, you're mad.
But you know what, though? Luton Town, have they even bought anyone, Luton Town? Have they even bought any players?
They're just trying to make sure their stadium's in good check for the start of the season, you know what I mean?
Bro, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I think they go down. I think West Ham go down, and then it's just whoever else you want to throw in there. I think they're two 30 shouts, though. Maybe
I'm going to go for Luton Town. Luton Town, for me, no disrespect. Shout out to everybody who's a Luton Town fan in here. But I don't think they've done enough. And I don't think they have enough quality in that team. I'm going to go for Wolves to go down.
What
yes.
a fucking shout. Woo!
Wolves.
That's a shout. That's a shout.
And
they've got a
Sheffield
manager.
United.
They've got a city manager.
What?
Wolves. They've got a boss manager.
Did you not know? He's sacked. What? He got sacked. He left yesterday. Did you not know that?
Wait,
sorry?
What? Really?
Have you not noticed?
Nah, I don't follow Wolves. I'll be honest with you. Do forgive me. Wow, never knew this.
Yeah, they've got a new manager. Gary O'Neill's took over the club.
Gary O'Neill. Oh, okay then.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you right now.
That's fucking
Wolves.
wild.
Let me just go on their page. They might have a page here. Yeah. So basically, yeah, the club. I'll put it up now. Here, 1 second.
That is wild.
Yeah, the club have reached an agreement for Lopetegui to part ways, ending his 9-month stay as coach. And then everyone's saying their relegation incoming. They've got now a new manager, Gary O'Neill.
He's a good manager, that dude is.
Yeah, he's a good manager, man. European pedigree. You know what? Yeah, man. So
he's a strong manager. He's a strong manager. They were trying to get him years ago, Wolves, when they were starting that initial investment to try to get him, and something happened. That's a shame. I thought that was kind of like a match made in heaven. It seemed he wanted to go there. They wanted him. That's mad to me. I know that they've had the poor window. I don't know how much you can attribute that to the manager, but that's wild. I know it's more of a club situation than a manager thing. Fair play. He left apparently.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, you know, he left. So they basically mutual agreement in it.
Mutual agreement. Yeah,
mutual agreement. They've got Gary O'Neill. He did well at Bournemouth. Did well at Bournemouth, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just think they've lost Collins, they've lost Martinho, they've lost Neves, they've lost their striker. I think for me, I'm going for Wolves, Luton Town, and Sheffield United.
I'll say the same teams, but instead of Wolves, West Ham.
Yeah, let me know, guys, what's your top three? Have you guys said anything? Who's going down? Nottingham Forest is going down. I think they've got enough for me to stay up. Bournemouth.
They're the team that'll go out in January and buy a whole new team if they have to stay up. So yeah, Nottingham are balls.
Luton, yeah, similar to me. Luton, Wolves, and Everton. Everton, you know what it is with Everton? Yeah, I'm not going to say they deserve to go down, but if they're in the relegation zone this year, then they deserve to go down. Because for me, 3 years in a row, relegation, you are, for me, not learning. You're not recruiting. You're not investing. You're not doing well. For me, you deserve to go down. And I'm saying that. And I don't like to say that, but for me, if you're in the relegation zone area again, then you deserve to go down because it's just you're not learning, man. Everton's a big club. They've never been relegated before. They've been in the top 4 one time. They were doing well. Luton, Wolves, and West Ham. Bournemouth, Luton, and Sheffield.
I hope Everton go down, man. I'm praying they go down, but I don't think
Burnley.
they will.
Forgot about Burnley as well.
No, Burnley won't. They've got a good thing going. Nice young players, new philosophy, Vincent Kompany. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. But like I said, it's going to be an interesting season, man. Yeah. Any surprise standouts for the season? Who are you surprised? Who are you going to see that will stand out this season and just surprise you? Who's the surprise package of the season going to be?
Like who's going to come out of nowhere and do a madness?
Yeah.
I think I am going to be pleasantly surprised by Onana. I think he's going to probably put himself in the conversation very quick as one of the better goalkeepers in the league.
Okay.
I do still have questions on him, but I have questions on every goalkeeper, and it's now seeing him week in, week out, and what does he do week in, week out? You know what I mean? If I saw Alisson's worst performances and worst moments, I'm not going to like him as my goalkeeper. I wouldn't want him at all. But you've got to look at the overall thing. So yeah, I'd say Onana's a great shout for me because I'm just intrigued. There's something about the mentality. There's something about the improving of the overall team. And I don't know, lad, like he's just a proper, he's a beast. You don't want that guy trying to come out and catch a ball for a corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he will punch you, and he's fine to do it.
Yeah.
I love the interviews that he does. Something about people who just come out and
very,
give zero
mentality's
fucks.
on point, man. He's
The
very
Haaland
intelligent.
shout, he was like, bro, why are you saying, do I fear a man? I fear a man. And bro, in the Champions League finals, they're pushing him and grabbing him by the back of the shirt. Just proper shit out me, lad. Proper shit out. You need that, though, say. So even though I think he'll make mistakes, because his style will adhere to making a couple of mistakes, it just will happen. I think the overall benefit is huge. Huge. So I'll go
massively. Big up AJ, a young player of the year shouts early left field shout Morgan Gibbs White. Well, that's a good shout, I'm gonna go for boy. How old is Szoboszlai? 22. So you can still put him in that category.
Young player.
I'm gonna go for. It's gonna be a good one. I think I'm gonna go for Garnacho, possibly. This could be a season for Garnacho.
Fucking shout. Because especially with the lack of quality on the wings at the moment for United.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity there.
Garnacho. Jackson, maybe. It depends if he does well.
I'll say Mudryk. I thought Mudryk was a good shout from you before. I think I'll go Mudryk.
Yeah, Mudryk. So, and obviously Højlund as well. Yeah, he's in that one as well, Højlund. So, let's see what he does as well. Andre Santos is a good shout. But again, I don't know if he'll play enough games for me to do that.
I'm not.
I don't think Haaland should be involved anymore. Like, stop it. If he wins the Premier League Player of the Year, let him just win that one. Sorry, man. And for me, you know what? Let me ask you a question. If Haaland scores 30-odd goals for the season, does he deserve to be Player of the Year?
By the way, Colwell is a good shout. If Haaland gets top goal scorer, should he be Player of the Year?
I don't think he should,
I mean, now we need to look at the options around him. So if someone else has a really good season, then we can talk about it. But if Haaland if Haaland does next year what he did this year, then
Nah, because I just think it's a bit, I don't know. He scored.
What you're doing here, you're saying he's so good, it's unfair that we can't give him rewards no more because it's not fair on everyone else. This is not a participation trophy. This is who's the best player in the Premier League. How do you define the best player in the Premier League? Who's been the most efficient out of what they need to do? And Haaland's just
fair enough then. So that means David De Gea then deserves that then for them years as well.
I disagree.
See, that's why I've caught you out there. That's
go on.
Let me make sure that go on. You've been found out, my guy. But I'll leave you to it. Because I've just given you the same scenario what David De Gea was doing for 4 years in a row, and because you're saying, because of the circumstances around it, you know what I mean? It's mad, people. But anyway,
hey, listen, mate, you thought you got a gotcha moment, but maybe on the next show.
Maybe on the next show. Levy after he joins Liverpool, when he joins Liverpool, or if he joins Liverpool, that's a question as well.
Man like Levy, blood. Coming to take over the Premier League. He's better than Casemiro, fam. You know what I'm saying, chat? Come on.
Crazy. You're crazy. Guys, there's 512 likes on the video. Let's get that up to at least 700. There's over 1,000 people still in the building. I'll be back live at 7 p.m. For Mandem Talk, so make sure you tune in 7 p.m. James, what have you got going on?
I don't know. I have no idea, but there will be videos, there will be streams. You come to James Redmond TV, and we usually disagree on points and then just exchange them on stream. So yeah, man, feel free to tune in. Thank you for everyone for having me. And another boss show, my G. Another boss show.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries, people, man. Like I said, people, leave a like on the video on the way out. Subscribe to James Redmond's channel. And also, like I said to you, 7 p.m. Mandem Talk. We're going to be live later on discussing all the centre-back options that Man United will be getting. And yeah, man, this has been the Northwest Divide. Hope you've enjoyed the show. And yeah, we're out. See you next week. Bye-bye.